What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about the brand new Elgato Game Capture 4K60 Pro. So this is a brand new Elgato Game Capture card that was officially, I would say, announced / it's not released yet, but they're taking like pre-orders and stuff for it now, and it's officially like unveiled now. It was announced back in like August that there was going to be a 4K60 Pro capture card, and they'd be able to record, 4K 60 FPS. But we didn't know anything about it. We didn't know the price. Well, all that was revealed today, and so that's what we're going to be sharing with you guys. So, first up, the 4K60 Pro. What does it do? Well, plain and simply, it captures gameplay at 4K 60 frames per second. I mean, it's pretty slick. Like, this whole thing it's like, overall, it's a great capture card, and compared to a lot of the other capture cards on the market, it's a great investment. It's a internal PCIe capture card, just like the HD60 Pro. You can't, if you have like a laptop, unfortunately, like you can't use it on the laptop or something like that. So you have to use a PCIe 4X slot on it, whereas the HD60 Pro, you have to use, or you can use a 1X slot. The release date for it is November 21st, so that's when it starts shipping, and so you can like pre-order it now and stuff. And how much does this cost? This costs $400 US. So this capture card costs 400 bucks. That's kind of ridiculous, like in my personal opinion. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But $400, and it will be released on November 21st, and it records 4K 60 frames per second. It does HDMI 2.0 pass-throughs, so there is no display port for it. There's a Reddit thread about it that I checked out earlier today, where people are like wondering if there's like a display port option and everything for it. And basically the response that Elgato gave for it was that since like most people use Elgatos for console gaming and consoles don't have a display port output, it would be pretty much pointless. But this is still going to be huge for PC gamers. They'll be able to capture 4K 60 frames per second gameplay from an external device, and that's awesome. So I'm going to show you guys this little graph that Elgato made, where you can see what has changed, what the differences are between the 4K60 Pro, HD60 Pro, HD60S, and the HD60. So right off the top, all of them do 1080p 60 FPS capture. The 4K60 does as well. The HD60 Pro, HD60S, and the HD60. The only one that can do 4K 60 FPS is the 4K60 Pro, this brand new $400 card. All of them except for the HD60 have instant game view. That's just because that one uses USB 2.0 and it's too slow, whereas something like the HD60S uses USB 3.0, so it's faster. And of course the 4K60 and the HD60 Pro, they both use PCIe, so it's just about instantaneously. It's even faster than USB 3.0. And so those have instant game view as well, so like if you wanted to, you could play off like your monitor instead of like your TV or something like that. The only two that have an H.264 encoder are the HD60 Pro and the regular HD60. The HD60S does not have one, which is kind of odd now that I think about it, because the HD60S and the HD60 are basically identical, except for one uses USB 3 and the other uses USB 2. I mean, to me, I don't understand why there's such a difference. I'm pretty sure they're like the exact same price, but I don't know. The HD60 has been out for like 2 years now or something like that, and I've had the HD60 Pro for like a year and a half now. So anyways, next up is Master Copy. The only two that have Master Copy, again, are the HD60 Pro and the HD60. This brand new 4K60 Pro capture card does not have H.264 encoders or a Master Copy. I assume that's just because like the codec and everything used for 4K60 capture is different, and they won't be able to use like H.264, or they won't have to, they won't have a built-in encoder in it, which I've heard that you're going to need like an external GPU with this as well, which I assume if you're going to spend $400 on a, external capture card like this, you're probably going to have a discrete GPU in your computer. And once we get down into like the requirements a little bit later, I'll talk about that then. But all of them have unlimited capture. I mean, that's just based on like your hard drive size and stuff. They all have flashback recording. Unfortunately, something that's really kind of upsetting to me a little bit is that on the 4K60 Pro, the flashback recording is only up to 1080p 60 FPS, whereas like the HD60 Pro can do flashback and regular recording at just the max quality at 1080p 60 fps. Whereas if you actually want to record at 4K 60 frames per second, you're going to have to make sure that you click record every single time. I mean, it'll still record in the background, but if you do the flashback recording and you like scroll back in that timeline and you like record a clip from there or something, it's only going to be 1080p 60 fps. So you guys always have to make sure that you're always clicking the record button. And like, I don't quite understand that, but I assume that's probably something to do with it always recording and having like 4K 60 fps, you know, having that, you know, how much space and how much like storage and data that's pushing through. That if you were constantly recording that kind of data, it'd be really, really strenuous on your CPU and on your hard drive and everything, and on like your GPU, since this doesn't have an H.264 encoder in it. Stream Command, they all have that. The 4K60 Pro only does up to 1080p 60 fps on that, so Stream Command, if you use that, you won't be able to use 2160p 4K on that. The interface they'll use, 4K60 Pro uses PCIe 4, HD60 Pro uses PCIe 1, and HD60S uses USB 3.0, and HD60 uses USB 2.0. So like I said, if you're using like a laptop or something, go for the HD60S or the HD60, whereas if you have like a full-on desktop that you like are actually, you know, modifying and stuff, then I'd go for the HD60 Pro or the 4K60 Pro, so that way, you know, you can put it into a PCIe slot. But make sure before you get a 4K60 Pro that you check, you know, see if your motherboard will support this and stuff. Make sure that everything works before you spend $400 on this, you know, because that would really just suck to, you know, spend $400 on this brand new capture card and then to be like, oh wait, my computer doesn't support this, or I don't have a GPU that works, you know, or anything like that. But the next thing that I'm really excited for, that a lot of people would probably skip over since it's the very bottom, is the max bitrate. The max bitrate for the 4K60 Pro is 140 megabits per second, and that's up to 140 megabits per second. The HD60 Pro does 60, HD60S does 40, and same with the regular HD60. I think the regular Elgato Game Capture HD, that old one that's been around since like 2011, that one only does like 30 megabits per second. So the HD60 Pro like doubled that, you know, up to 60, and 60 is really awesome. I mean, I use the HD60 Pro on a daily basis. It is my favorite capture card, and I love it. But 60, you know, megabits per second, that's awesome. But I would still really much prefer more. I mean, 60 megabits per second, that's a lot of data still. Like when I record, say like a 25 to 30 minute video, it's about 10 gig. And, you know, if you don't have like a very effective storage solution, then you're going to be running out of space so quick. And with the 4K60 Pro, and it can do up to 140 megabits per second, that is crazy. And like it's gonna tear through your hard drive. Like on the Reddit thread, one of the guys from Elgato Gaming, he said that at a max bitrate of 140 megabits per second, it's 62 gigabytes per hour, or about a gigabyte per minute of recording. So, you know, if you don't have a whole lot of storage space, or you don't have like external drives, or, you know, a couple terabyte, you know, hard drives lying around, you know, I would be kind of skeptical about, you know, either one, buying this capture card because it's going to use up a lot of hard drive space and stuff, or using, you know, either like the max bitrate. I would like, you know, if you're, you know, wanting to be conscious about your storage solution, I would, you know, scale back that bitrate or scale back that resolution, or I would just like upgrade your hard drives, or even just delete the clips after you like upload them to YouTube or whatever. You know, I'd like with this, it's crazy how much data is going to be coming through, so you're going to have to find a way to store all that. But 4K 140 megabits per second is amazing, and I can't wait to use that. Like, that's awesome. That 140 megabits per second, I mean, this is way beyond like YouTube or Twitch or anything, because 140 megabits per second is absolutely insane, and I can't wait to like record, you know, videos and stuff and use this, because that much bitrate and that much like data is going to be so nice. And like any screenshots, any editing is going to be so much better, and it's going to look so much better, like overall, especially with the resolution, the 4K resolution, but also with that high of a bitrate, it's going to make editing so much better. It might not make it easier, since the file sizes and like the, you know, data is going to be so thick and like so big that if you don't have like a really beefy computer, you know, Premiere, Sony Vegas is probably going to chug if you know, try and load this right into it. But I mean, it's an amazing capture card, and the requirements for it, You're going to need Windows 10 64-bit edition, a 6th gen Intel Core i7 CPU, or an AMD Ryzen 7 or better. You're going to need a GPU with this, so you're going to need a GeForce 10 series, graphics card, or an AMD Radeon RX Vega or better. I'm not too sure about this GPU one because on this Reddit thread, somebody said that they were using like 980s and SLI, and the guy from Elgato commented on that and said that that should be plenty. It'll be just fine for recording and streaming and stuff. So I don't think it'll need a GeForce 10 series, graphics card. So if you have like a 980 or a 970 or something like that, I think it'll be just fine. But I don't know, I would be wary about that because, maybe if you do have, this Elgato set to 4K 60 FPS at 140 megabits per second, it might chug, especially since it doesn't have an H.264 encoder in it. It's going to rely on like your CPU and GPU pretty heavily, which is one thing. I'm probably going to talk about this in a separate video, more of the content creator side of things, which, I mean, if you're here talking about and watching this video, you're obviously a content creator, but, just for content viewers, this is going to be amazing and good for them as well. And then you're going to need a PCIe 4X, 8X, or 16X slot, which, that's not too hard to find and get. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. $400, November 21st, and you're going to need a GPU with this. So if you just had, bought a, random, like Best Buy computer or something in it, it doesn't have a GPU, you're going to need a GPU, and you're going to need to fork over another $100, and you're going to need like a, pretty nifty hard drive solution for this too. So yeah, there you guys go. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys think about the 4K60 Pro, Elgato's brand new 4K game capture card. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out the link in the description where you can check out Elgato's website and pre-order this and stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.